Hi. I'm just gonna throw those out. And reorganize my windows here. Now that that's gone. Hi, Sin. How are you? How goes? Hello to anyone else who may be. Uh, Internet may not cooperate at some points, and that's okay. It's about the experience together, right? Something like that. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, I guess. Until then, back to being the worst cop with the coolest soundtrack. I'm pretty sure. Badge and gun. I have misplaced badge and gun. I sold gun, more specifically. And I think I know who has it. I'm pretty confident as to who has it. Why did I go so fast though? Because apparently getting to them is going to be a bit of a pain. It's about 3 o'clock. I need to remember to give the throws. Oh my god. You right. Oof. I'm a professional. How could I forget? How could I forget? Ugh. Okay. Oh my fucking god. You were ready, Jesus. I'm gonna go ahead and keep sound alerts off though, because that's a whole other thing I gotta go through. What's here? Inside the frame of a motorcycle in repair and the tools used to disassemble it. That's not helpful.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
The girl up there. She spilled the paint?
The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
You wait and say. Girl stares at the sailboat by the pier.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
Oh, shit. Thank you, McMorgan, for the raid. Ooh, the Banner Saga. How was Banner Saga? Sin. I swear to God. Oh, thank you, Pagan Pixie, for the follow, and thank you, Briar Bay, for the follow. Hi, Raiders. My name is Evrohin. I'm a bearded Nook Nook. Thank you for the follow. I'm the bearded bard, beard tuber, variety streamer, I guess, is what I technically am. I don't know. I'm not into labels. We're doing Disco Elysium today.
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull.
Yes.
What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C?
Oh, I don't need to know all that.
Ask away, pigman, but I don't promise to answer.
Despite the sass, she puts the brush aside. Oh, you keep looking off to the side. What are you looking at? What are you doing?
I ain't no snitch, pigstein.
Oh,
Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No
mhm.
shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
Yeah, exactly.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
I know you weren't. I just, why can't this?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
That's not what that said. Hold on. She nods disdainfully toward the woman performing maintenance on the boat docked next to the pier.
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features.
As I was saying before, internet has been a little fucky, this week, so it may give up on me at some
The
point.
woman on the boat
May not.
does not notice her staring.
Or is that? Hold on.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Hey, excuse me. Oh, a pepper. Thank you for the hydrate. Who is
Probably
she?
the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing.
Does she have my gun?
You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Wacky.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to us on.
Oh my god.
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit.
Thank you for the throw, Morbidoni.
I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
Ah, whatever.
Watch
Cindy.
your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Ungulate? Am I supposed to be insulted by ungulate? What does that mean? Did she call me a slur? What is ungulate? No, that's not what I want. What is an ungulate? A hoofed animal. Call me a pig? Oh, cause I'm a. This game, man. Alright. We gotta.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top
We gotta
of
be
her
ready.
sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
She steps closer and holds out her hand over the railing.
I'm glad to see you here.
Her grip is tight and cold.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
Don't threaten me with
I
a
was
bit.
dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
Yeah.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
That's an interesting way of telling her I got so fucked up I forgot who I was.
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
Alright, so she told me to get wacky with it. Or, no, not she. He told me to get wacky with it. Right? You're on a boat.
Yes, I am.
She looks at the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Not a lot of people
Of course
on
there are.
boats.
We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Caillou? That little shit.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Le Caillou.
She nods attentively.
Okay.
The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
What kind
It's a
of...
pleasure craft. A 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing.
Alright.
Though these days I mainly use it for business. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
You told me to get wacky with it.
Good.
Alright.
What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those
Hi,
airships
Char.
there, blinking?
Thanks for the
Those are
throw.
shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
He's...
A billion?
What exactly is a billion?
$20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then
Yeah.
there are capital improvements, interest payments.
A wave hits the sloop. She grasps the mainstay for
A
balance.
conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines
They
get?
started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain.
Okay.
Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow.
Apricot?
The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Okay.
She nods.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
Right.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place.
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Outstanding.
Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Oh, I am well acquainted with Jean-Luc, ma'am. You don't have to tell me about the racist giant.
Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later. Yes, Jean-Luc Measurehead. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
Yeah.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss.
Yes.
Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions,
Good
including
for them.
overtime pay and a medical plan.
Wait.
This
They
time
didn't
their
have
demands are
overtime
more-
pay before?
I guess you could say aggressive. There are leaflets everywhere and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Actually.
Then you might also like their other slogan. Demand democracy.
Yeah?
Personally, I don't think it has the same pizzazzo as every worker a member of the board. It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
What?
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
Mañana.
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to?
Yeah.
Don't let her answer it herself.
If these strikebreakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
Is that right?
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Yeah.
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt.
Yeah,
I
okay,
imagine he
that
has a
sounds more
thick,
like it.
viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over.
Interesting.
It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act. But they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say.
Right.
Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates, looking for the right expression.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate.
Yeah.
Sad as it may be, we are forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
Right.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Indeed, and a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Is that right?
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name.
What?
She's just forewoman. In private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name. And I don't have access to the Union's files.
Wait, how does she not have a name on file?
Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but what could they do? It was a Union matter.
Right,
The
right.
point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course.
No, I don't care about
How
that.
else can I help? Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
Okay.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Right,
Of
right,
course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves.
Right. Oh.
I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57.
no.
And this is my colleague from Precinct 41, Detective Dubois. I'm afraid Harry doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
Good.
Oh, and what happened to yours, Detective? I see.
Increasingly
So, are you
worried.
saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
Nah. Alright, I tried to be vague.
Oh, dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond.
Ooh.
I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
Oh man, who knows?
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Can I pull this off?
Feelings will guide the way.
Damn.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
Officer,
Carbon fiber pull creaks.
you know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
Damn.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
Oh?
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
My wrecked room.
The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour.
Is
It's
that
an open
right?
secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it.
Ma'am.
Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Alright, I mean, you're not wrong, but...
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Yes.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
What did you hope it would?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Also,
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands. No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it.
But I mean, I kind of am. I did take the check.
What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Okay. Dig it.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samaran Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Shit, yeah, baby.
Is that where
It's
the
the
shithead
party
got it?
pipeline. Why would you want to shut that down?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Right.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
Maybe.
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut. Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
What do
The
you...
lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable.
Right.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now.
You could say that.
Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
I think I know the
irises are
guy.
light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Okay.
Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something.
I think I know the one.
It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Excuse me?
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
What? You're just gonna...
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it? Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub. Why, yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat.
I don't like where this is going.
While dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry. Wealth and all its possibilities. Now look at you. You misery-clad simian. Barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor. Poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too. Maybe you could ask her for some stock tips.
What?
That's a maybe. Or a job. But you're sure as hell too ashamed to ask for cash, buddy.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask. Of course, Detective. Take care.
Right. Okay.
Wow, you work hard.
I do.
Oh, yes. You hustle. You're a provider. It's tough out there, but you keep it real and provide. Look at yourself. You're a human pedometer. You must have walked 200,000 steps down cracked asphalt, mosaic, sand, and linoleum after you re-emerged.
Right.
That is the sign of a hustler who never gives up. The world is harsh and people are evil. You didn't make it that way, and you won't let it break you. You ride. A little. You make money. You got gills, baby. Got those black papers with the faces of the innocents on them. You bring in the Franco Negros and the Solas.
I bring in the what?
It ain't easy, but you do it. Day in and day out. You didn't make the rules, but you won't lose. You're a cop and a sprinter and a money printer.
What is this?
Sure. And has it been easy? Is life easy? Have you not gone into cardiac arrest? Are you not about to have an anxiety attack or shoot yourself in the mouth? But you still hustle 24/7, ride or die. Now, ask yourself,
Oh, did I lose internet there for a second?
are you rich?
No.
That's right. You work harder than anyone. You almost rode yourself to the grave and you're still practically a hobo. Why is that? That's right.
Taxes, man.
100%. Fucking G-Man's got his jam-covered sticky fingers in your pocket, stealing from you every time you buy, sell, walk, talk, fart, so much as sneeze. Every time you wipe your ass, they got their direct and their indirect modes of taxation. Sales tax, excise duty, extraction tax, alimony. One tax that doesn't even have a name. Plus there's the stuff people in other countries pay for. That makes them ask for more money from you. Here. Total tax duties add up to 98% of all your money.
Okay, you know what? I know that that's wrong.
What are you, a racist?
What?
Racist. Be a cool immigrant, ultra-liberal free market advocate. Ride or die. Keep it street.
Oh my god, go away. Why did I entertain that for so long? Oh.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked.
Yeah, the writing in this game is really something else. Narration is great too. They're so chaotic. They really are. Okay. So if I remember right, the Union was going to be in here around this time. No, I don't remember right. Just disregard my statement. But I think I know which lorry driver to talk to. This guy. Hey man, remember me?
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
Well, I'm not gonna get anywhere with that. What are you hauling anyway?
High-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Wicked.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad in the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il Moran market lately. Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know?
Right.
But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration. Gotta guard the stuff. Bosses don't look kindly on missing cargo.
Right.
And it gives me time to work on my rhymes.
You're what?
Working on these rhymes clearly leads to muscular atrophy. Make sure you don't get hooked on poetry.
Look, man,
Don't
I try
get
to stay
hooked on
away from the
poetry,
criminal
chat.
underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
Right. Another guy around here. Another driver. Huh? Hey, yo. There's this whole area over here I wasn't even aware of. God, this. Foreign car kept in good condition. Can't talk to you. Alright, so that's just the strike breakers there. You. What's your deal? Oh, wild pines. Look at that.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. No response. Wherever this woman is, your words fail to reach her.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Where am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis. You've jolted her back to reality.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
She adds with contempt.
The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber? Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution, the sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buendero. Until you came along, that is. Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She settles back against the railing of her motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard.
Diamonds.
Of course not.
Hmm.
But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
It would be.
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
Maybe they're giving her the drug.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
Then it's contraband, lawman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
I'm sorry, what?
She's just a distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her things.
You hear that, lawman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
Nothing. I just don't think she's connected to anything.
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one else will. Lomonosov's Land, Udajnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain.
She nods and closes her eyes again, letting her mind
A
submerge.
terrible cold comes over her, rattling her teeth as she stares inward.
The Transcatalia Magistral. You for 1A. Adestradas do Mirador. All the good ones. The deep trenches. Where the bluebirds fly.
She opens her eyes again and shudders.
Irmao. I already am dust. What do I need drugs for, lawman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare. Yes, there is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
Interesting.
I don't like the sound of any of that. Sounds like a horrible drug. The worst one of them all. The woman sways her wrinkled shell back and forth, a strange grin across her face.
Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesky.
Voice trails. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So I know the one driver. She's another one. What did Kitsuragi say? No one lives here anymore. There were like 3? At least 3? Wait, the other guy. The guy selling the stuff. Not supposed to be selling. Stop between those trucks down there. Smokes. Go get them. What? What? Ooh. Yeah, sure. Grab a pair of smoke. Grab some smokes, why not? Pair of smokes, what is that? You can tell how familiar I am with smoking. Hey man. Remember me? Gotta ask you some questions about drugs.
Everything's still cool here, officer. Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the past? I'm all business now. All Revachol. Very sharp, officer. I'm Serais, from the Sigai province of the Serais Empire. The apricot suzerainty, you know?
The apricot suzerainty is what the Sigai archipelago is commonly known as in Revachol. It's a bit of a fraught term, I'm sure you understand.
No.
No, apricots come from Sigai. My grandma used to grow them. But Sigai is a shithole. That's why I came to Revachol. Here's much better for an independent entrepreneur. Less laws. Speaking of, why not support an independent local entrepreneur? I send half my profits back to my grandma in Seaguy.
So that may be something. It may also be nothing. May have completely fucked up looking into the old lady. I don't know. On this channel, we believe in fucking around, finding out. Hey man, I'll be back in a minute. We'll be with you shortly. Equip a flashlight? A flashlight? Excuse me?
The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. You should punch a fucking hole in it. The murmur in your ears recedes slowly.
Making me nervous here. Pretty sure she's got my gun. Pick these up while I'm in here. There are a lot of bottles. Oh god. No, I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take these to that little convenience store. I think is what it is. I don't know. Fritz. Probably a bit more complicated than that, but you know. Oh, so I was talking with one of my Rig siblings the other day.
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now.
Outstanding. And they have informed me that the newest Neptunia game is getting its Western release early next year. I've been trying to figure out if I want to stream it or if I just want to keep it as a me game, you know? Just not really sure either way yet. Or he's probably stored fuel here. Now they store booze. Outstanding. I was figuring if I wanted to stream it, I could probably stream some of the other games too. Apparently when it takes place is like right after the last mainline game that came out. Oh, hold on. Sorry, landlord. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you've lost tracking on me now. Hold on. Gotta restart V2 Studio here. Alright, there we go. I'm back. Right, so we were... Did I not pause the game? Ah, hell. Alright, so fuck it. Let's do the autopsy now. Get it over with. Close. Take that out. Okay. Let's give it a
The
go.
rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. His body is supine and open to intrusion. By autopsy, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. Fine. It's a 3-part form to be filled out on the scene by the detectives responsible. One takes note, the other dictates. The goal is to establish cause of death. A scalpel is not always required. I hope this is one of those cases. Latex gloves are, however. There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
Right.
I'll ask you when I need you to. For the most part, maybe I should handle the contact and you take notes?
Okay.
In your paperwork, officer, just fill out the field autopsy form.
I think I lost.
Officer, what haven't you lost?
Still have my disco trouser.
Yes, barely.
Oh.
I can give you my paperwork. There's an autopsy form there. Several, actually, but only if it helps move things along. Right. The autopsy form is near the end.
Yeah.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you. Not an energetic start to an autopsy, I agree.
Pig's messed up. Kuno feels pity.
Ah, shut the fuck up, Kuno.
Just leave it empty, officer.
the corpse lies there, indifferent to your retrograde amnesia. The next box says,
KK57-0803.0815. Next, NA. Next, NA. Roughly 50.
the corpse looks
Really?
ageless, like meat on a hook, teeming with opportunistic microorganisms, letting out a foul-smelling diamine compound. Your eyes turn watery.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Oh my
Male.
god.
Pigs can have sex.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
None. At least not after the initial examination. Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then, somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Right.
The corpse
right.
cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body on its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max.
Fucking Kuno.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation. Ligature mark.
Lieutenant produces a small folding knife. The other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark. We get chain cutters, then try with those. I have a pair in the toolbox of my kinema. Damn corpse. We had a good rhythm going.
Me too, man, me too. Oh, autosave. Let's go. What was I talking about for the landlord? Yeah, I was trying to figure out if I wanted to play the next Neptunia game coming out on a Western release, on stream. And if I did, if I also wanted to
Inside,
stream
you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and a metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and clicks into place. The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand. You can do good work with these. Cut chains, locks, and ropes, especially belts. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest.
If I wanted to stream the other mainline Neptunia games, I figured since it takes place right after the last one, pretty sure it was the last one. Maybe in preparation I just play all 4 of them.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eye. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Cut with as much precision as you can, please.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there, steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
I don't like the way he's describing curdled meat. Ugh.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! Let's get out and see!
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Right.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
The hand feels heavy, filled with decay liquids, like it's ready to explode if squeezed hard enough. You're suddenly repulsed, so much so you feel compelled to drop it.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Why would I?
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
Oh my god.
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. Stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth. Hepatobiliary, NA. Same for toxicology and serology, NA. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around, to the ground, the pool of feces there.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Oh. There's gotta be something, man, I swear. There's always got to be interrupting me for something. I don't understand. Okay. Let's get a move on.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Right. Next? Nothing. Just in case. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned, but it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Now we put him in a body bag and I drive him to Forborg for processing.
The lieutenant looks at the dead man one more time, then at his notebook, then at the corpse again. You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse.
Hold on. All right.